We are back with another edition of Cape Band Today. Heather and I are joined by Maiuza Alves. She's an advocate and part of the Human Rights Commission here in Gloucester. And today we were talking about the non-resident driver's license bill that recently passed the House and Senate. How are you, Maiuza?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It's great. It's
Thanks.
great to hear from you again. We haven't done this in a couple of years.
I know. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. So right off the top, let's just give a quick recap on what bill just passed and why this is important.
Okay. The bill that just passed is the bill who allowed the driver's license, the immigrants that doesn't qualify for Social Security number, which we call undocumented, to have a driver's license. It's important to everyone who are on the road to know the rules and the law of driving. It's safe for all of us. So, and this bill just passed in the House and the Senate. So now we're waiting for the next step.
Right. And to recap, we're talking about immigrants who live here and work here and pay taxes and could even be owning a business. And they're obviously commuting. And this just makes the path easier for them to drive legally.
And they can buy a car, but they simply, right? They can have a business, they can buy a car, they can buy a house, but they're not able to, until with this legislation, to obtain a driver's license. And
yes.
Well, I just want to check in there. I'm sorry, Maiuza. I just want to remind you that we spoke, I think, 2 years ago, and you were very discouraged, and you did not think this bill was going to pass. So,
yes, it's a very long road. Have been for 17 years trying to have this bill to pass, and we already have 16 states that have the similar bill, and we are working hard to, to show the people how it's important, to show the legislators how important it is to everyone, and who are those immigrants. We talk about, like I said, immigrants who are here. We have around approximately 200,000 immigrants in the state that doesn't qualify for Social Security. So undocumented immigrants. Those immigrants have a home. Those immigrants have kids in college, kids in school. They live here, people who live here for decades, and people who have the IT number, which is a number who allow you to pay taxes, and pay taxes for decades, and 10, 15 years of, and they are allowed with that number to buy a house, to have a business, to buy a house, to buy a car, to register the car. And the driver now have a right to have a driver's license. So that driver's license, it's a huge victory. It's important to everyone, and it's a win-win. People is gonna be learn how the rules and the law of driving and be prepared to be on the road, and that is safer for everyone, for me, for you, for everyone, to make sure the people who share the road with you, it is prepared for any circumstance that they need to know what to do. And that's how important it is important for everyone to take care of their lives. We all need it. And this is the people who work hard to pay taxes. And and even though this bill doesn't require IT number to be qualified, but we have a large majority of immigrants that have the IT number and pay taxes and work here, have a business here, have a life here.
So Maiuza, how surprising was this victory? Did you have any indication that this was going to pass, or did it just completely come out of the sky?
No, we had idea when the coalition work, they have an idea who's going to support the bill. So the idea was get enough vote to be veto proof, and that was when we got it. We already have an idea. The House was a large number, so was more unsure, but we are pretty confident that will be passed at this time. And the Senate, we kind of confident in the Senate.
So what changed, Maiuza? Because as I said, 2 years ago, you were discouraged. What do you think changed?
the bill changed, because before the requirements before they were not was not clear. So this bill much better prepared, have the requirements cleared before they even try to have a passport expired as one of the ID as a qualification, which I disagree completely. On all the meetings that we had, I say I don't know where did you get this idea, because I don't think it's something that we don't use expire ID for anything. Why are you going to be used for RMV for motor vehicles? So and I did encourage, I suggest the IT number and the income taxes, 2 years of income tax, something like that as a requirement, but it was not everybody agree with that. One of the reasons that I think was could be a good idea was to the general population to understand who we are, who those immigrants are. We help people that are contributing to this country, to the state, not people who take advantage. So, and the large majority of the people who are going to be applying for the driver's license already have the IT number. It was not something difficult to apply for. It's super easy. So, but they didn't, not everyone agree with that. So I was able to pass without the IT number, but the requirement is a part of the passport, which is, it's really important.
We should point out that Maiuza's dog is tearing into something
I
beneath
know.
her.
Now you can hear
He started
that.
dinner early. It's,
Yeah.
Should
I hope he's
make
not
more
chewing at the bill.
yeah. Yeah.
It's actually ripping my yoga mat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's having some fun, but that's okay.
So much for yoga. So the governor has indicated that he will not sign this bill, but it's okay because it has passed by a veto-proof majority. So it will definitely, be finalized. But what do you, and I know you spoke to our dear friend, State Senator Bruce Tarr, and he opposed the bill too. So do you want to give us a sort of a brief idea of what Senator Tarr and Governor Baker don't like about this bill?
For what I understood, I spoke with Senator Tarr, he wanted more tough requirements. And some I understand, like that, but I think it could be a good idea. But I think they more worry about the voter fraud, which I don't see, I don't see that is an issue. It's already in place. The last section of the bill is already in place. That the Secretary of State with IMV, we're gonna find how they're gonna implement the way to secure that. So it's not gonna be automatically registered to vote when they apply for driver's license. So, and I believe that's more than enough, as we have to trust our government people with the Secretary of State, and they're gonna do their job to prevent that. So I don't see the reason I don't see a reason for them to worry about that, and so and the Senator Tarr presented, I spoke with him, and he said that he presented 15 amendments to present different requirements, and so he said he's worried about the safety, and I understand. I have a lot of respect. I love Senator Tarr. I think it's doing his job, but the thing is, I don't see that protected from immigrants. We are trying to give a right to drive to the people that work it, that's hard work, that people have a family. We're not giving them a benefit or money or something for them to take advantage. We're giving them a right to learn, to do the right thing. So we're not, this is not something that they're going to be using. They can use for anything else. So I think the protection could be directed to the people from out of the state who could come in here and use our law, this bill, the right to have a driver's license to do for people who doesn't live here. And then they're going to be have a fake, address, to proof of address, things like that. This is the people that we should be worried about, is somehow to prevent those things, not to prevent the people from votes and things like that, because I think we have to look at who we're helping here. We helping our people. We help our hard work immigrants, people that have a family, the people that have a business. They're not looking for fraud or something. They don't look for trouble.
Right.
They look for a right to drive safe, to get back home at the end of the day without worry to be handcuffed and take to the station, to police station, just because they, for stop sign or something. So they look for, do the right thing, do learn and drive safe for all of us. So I don't see, without the respect that I have to Senator Tar, I don't see the necessary. And one of the other things that he is one of his amendment is trying to do is to change the appearance of the driver's license. This driver's license is going to be looking like the one that anybody can get, not the real ID, but the just the driver's license itself. And this one's going to be the same. And we have, as far as I know from my research, we just have 2 states that have the driver's license that's similar than the driver's license for who are citizen, not the real ID, just the driver's license. And he's trying to change that. I'm gonna tell you something. If it was like 7, 8 years ago, I would say it doesn't matter, because the immigrant state doesn't care. But with those days, the people, immigrants, is being seen in different eyes, for maybe have been seen the same eyes, but people have been discrimination against immigrants is being a little higher than it usually be, especially when I'm gonna try not to say names here, but the former commander-in-chief said in national television that the Mexican are drug dealers who come here, drug dealers and rapists. And if you look at me with my accent, the way I look, you don't know who I came from. I could be Mexican. We are Latin, we're Latino, so we all look alike. He didn't hurt the Mexican, he hurt how the Latino community. So, and we have, if I'm not wrong, 32% of people in the state who vote for him a year and a half ago. So people have a right to maybe change the way they see immigrants. And if you have something, when you see behind the wheel, doesn't matter which color skin or where you came from. What matters is who you are, how you know, if you know how to drive, how you're gonna act if you need to act in emergency and accident. So you need to know what you're doing. Doesn't matter if you're American or if you're your immigration status. So I think we should have a driver's license that look the same.
Right. So to reinforce the point, these are for immigrants who are already in the system in a number of different ways. And so, Maiuza, is there any idea when this bill will actually be in action?
So we have until the July 31st to finalize, to have everything done. And then if it happens, that's going to be working by July 1st next year. So I spoke with the people from ASLUM, the people who helped to write the bill. So the bill will be at the governor's desk this week, the end of this week. That's the plan. And then he have 10 days to get back with veto or with amendments. So then we know better what's going to be the next. So I believe he's going to send back with amendments, which is might be similar to the one that the Senator Tar proposed at the vote. So I'll see how it goes with that.
Okay. So then we should definitely, let's follow up after July 31st then and see where we're at with this, so we can just continue the conversation and stay on top of this. So Maiuza, Alves, thanks so much for your time. It was great catching up with you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for keeping us informed with this bill, and we look forward to speaking with you later this summer.
Okay, I'm looking forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Maiuza.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.